Today we're going to learn how to play my song Nail in a Coffin, a song written about the exorbitant price of coffin nails at Home Depot. This could be an excellent lesson in, first of all, the harmonic minor scale, because we're going to do the solo too. Really pretty simple song if you have the hang of bar chords, and also just kind of using different stuff in the saddest of keys, D minor, right? So if you haven't listened to the song, I will link you below, but it's the main part. The verse sounds like this. To the chorus. Then back to the verse. Starts off with this D minor 7 chord, which is really just like a D minor bar chord. So 5A, straight up D minor bar chord is 5A, 7D, 7G with your pinky, middle finger 6B, and then if you can get the high E string on the 5th fret, all the better. Make it even easier, take your pinky up, but you gotta hammer on. Okay, so you've got your bar finger just kind of rocking this 5th fret, and then get your middle finger and your ring finger, teamwork style, to kind of get them both at the same time, right? So root, hammer. And then we're gonna go up to an A7, okay? The interesting thing about this is it's in 4/4, but there's actually a bar of 2 in this. So if the chords are pretty simple. It says D minor 7 to A7, B flat major 7, A7, C7. But it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So kind of broken up a little bit, but it just kind of has a cool vibe to it. So we're starting off with the first bar of D minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just move this shape straight up. Now, the A string rooted minor 7 bar chord shape, again, this is just a shape, D minor 7, D sharp minor 7, E minor 7, so on and so forth. Rooted on the E string actually gives you a dominant 7 chord shape. So D minor 7 to A7, okay? And the great thing about this is if you're going to this chord next, which we are, it's a pretty easy transition, all right? So D minor 7, A7, 2 counts. You move your root to the A sharp or B flat. And then everybody's favorite, major 7 chord voicing, which you'll kind of see how these chords relate. Because if you take that original D minor voicing that we used, right, without the 7, and you just take your pointer finger and you move it a string lower and a fret higher to the B flat, that gives you a B flat major 7. So that's why D minor 7 and B flat major 7 sound pretty good together, because they're almost the same thing. It's just a really slight difference. It can sound really cool in your own playing, right? So D minor 7, A7, B flat. Now this one actually, I kind of lied. It's not really an A7, but what we do is we take that B flat major 7 and then take your pointer finger and move it back to the A. Now, what's really happening here is we're taking a D minor chord again, but you can see this as an inversion where the root note isn't first. So now the A, which is actually the 5th in D minor, D, E, F, G, A, you can actually use that as the bass note, even though it's not the root note. So you can play this as an A7 or a D minor with an A bass note, which is actually what I'm doing, but either one is gonna sound good. So yeah, after we go B flat, I'm really just grabbing that A and then going up to the next chord, right? So really, it's just kind of a thicker sounding D minor. But then we're gonna slide this to the 8th fret, which this root note is a C, and we're gonna use that second shape that we did, the A7, but now it's a C7, okay? The reason we're doing this is because we get a cool slide sound to get from the A to the C, even though it's the 5th of the chord to the root note of the next chord, all right? So those are the chords. D minor 7, A7, B flat major 7, inversion to a C chord, back to D. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up. if you want to do the direction of it, okay? So that's what we got for the verse. Pretty simple. Please, feel free. Learn it. Make a video of it. Link me to it. It'd be awesome. Good practice. Now, we're going to switch it up and go to the chorus, okay? Now, depending on, how your perspective is writing songs, I think one thing that I like to do a lot is maybe switch from verse to chorus, switch the chords up, or use the same chords in a different order, which is kind of what we're going to go to here. Now, the thing that I like to do is really these major 7 chords, specifically as, like the 4 chord in a progression, right? I think I even made a video on what my favorite chord was. It's always the 4 chord as a major 7 chord. Specifically when used as a chorus, I do this stuff all the time. The first thing you might see is like, what key is this in? This is in D minor. Like I said, saddest key we could come up with. But the hopeful part of this, which is, it's like a song about hopelessness, is the 4 chord, that Lydian sound. It's kind of like the whole feel that the 4 chord as a major 7 chord, I think, gives to songwriting. So again, D minor is the relative minor in the key of F. All right? Now, there's not a lot of F majoring going on here, which is why it kind of sounds sad, because we're avoiding that F chord at all costs. But what's the 4 chord in the key of F? F, G, A, B flat, okay? So that's why we're gonna go to the 4 chord, because it kind of has this a wistfulness, I suppose. But that's where the chorus of the song goes, okay? So again, a lot of this was on purpose, writing-wise. It's kind of like the juxtaposition of lyrical content versus how it sounds, and trying to kind of get them to coordinate in a certain type of way. So we're gonna go from the verse to a B flat major 7, but a different voicing, okay? Now the reason I wanted to do this is you'll see once we kind of go through it, but the A string root of major 7 voicing is like a power chord on 1A. This is your root note, B flat. 3D, middle finger 2G, pinky 3 on the B string. You can get the high string if you want. I actually don't play it this one. I'm actually just taking the middle 4 strings, going from B flat major 7 to the C7. C7 is the exact same voicing, except with your middle finger up, right? Major 7 chord, the flat 7. It's a dominant 7 chord. So I've got 3, 5, 3, 5. I can actually use my middle finger to kind of help bar down, because a lot of times it can be hard to get that G string to sound good. So it's always good to kind of reinforce there, right? So B flat, major 7. Now this is straight 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, what is this? Same chord, different voicing? It's more convenient doing it this way. We really just have 4 counts now of these 3 chords for the chorus, okay? Now, we use this B flat major 7 in the verse, and we started the chorus with this B flat major 7. All right, now if you listen, same chord, different voicings give you a totally different feel, right? Even though it's the same chord, I think that is kind of a dramatic impact, especially on a very acoustic-driven song like that. So the way I decided to arrange it was having this B flat, C7, D minor, and then for some variation is to kind of take this D minor and then throw it back to how the verse went, okay? The second time around. And then you have to jump from this to the C7. C7, walk it to the verse. Okay, so really, there's nothing crazy going on there. It's just that C7 to a D minor, right? So we could see this C7 as being the last chord of the chorus, and the D7 is being the first chord of the verse, if you want to look at it that way. And what bridges these two? C sharp, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is definitely a different chord, but I'm just thinking this is altering a C7 to a D minor 7, okay? Making those connections between chords, I think, is something that sounds really great in just like a solo acoustic presentation, which is most of what this song is. There's other stuff going on too, but that's it, right? There's the verse, chorus, C7. You could walk it every time if you wanted. Just kind of like adding those transitional notes can be a cool sound if that's what you're into. If not, don't worry about it. No one's gonna judge you. It's a cool thing that you might want to be able to experiment with in some of your own writing and playing. But basically, that is how you play the chord part of the song. Now, halfway through, there's a solo that happens over the verse chords, and we're doing it mostly in D minor, but we're actually going to incorporate the D harmonic minor into it. So I'm just gonna play the solo without a backing track. Now, in the track, it's actually double tracked. Part of it is with this acoustic guitar, the other one is with the Strat to kind of give it like some texture, I suppose. But out of context, it sounds like this. Okay, so we just kind of have a little bit of a D minor run. Almost, it starts off, there's a lot of pentatonic elements in this. Let's break it into kind of like maybe 4 parts, right? So the first part, it's just 8 to 10. Hammer on or slide. Then 2 more on the 10th fret of the E string, which is what? It's a D minor scale, right? 1, 2, then we're gonna go up or down a string, the 8th to the 10th fret on the A string. 2 hammers, so slide, 10, 10, hammer, hammer, slide, into pentatonic lick, right? Easy. End up on the 10th fret of the G string. So. That's the first phrase, all right? Then after this, this is where that harmonic minor thing comes in, right? So the harmonic minor scale is the minor scale with a raised 7th. So here's the minor scale in D. Harmonic minors are taking this right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what does this do? We're taking a C note and turning it into a C sharp. Now we have mentioned the note C sharp in this video already. Can you remember where? Okay, so that transition between the 7th note away from D and the harmonic minor has already kind of made an appearance in this. So I kind of did that by design because I wanted to kind of foreshadow a little bit of the riff, which the piano actually plays at the beginning, but that's kind of besides the point. But yeah, that second phrase of the solo. All right, starts right here. So it starts on the 10th fret of the B string, but we're gonna slide into it from the 9th fret. Up a string. 12, 10, 9, 9, 10, harmonic minor, home, okay? Home being D, all right? So the 12th fret on the D string. Yeah? So that's the second phrase of the solo. And the next one. Again, we're just kind of playing around in D minor here. Slide, minor 3rd, the 10th fret of the G string. The C note on the B string, which is the 13th fret. So 12D, 10G, 13B. All right, so after that slide, 10B, 10, 12G, 10, 11, 10, which isn't pentatonic. This is why you need to learn the minor scale for tasty stuff like that. There it is, right? The 10th fret of the G string. So that third phrase is. Then we're gonna slide into the next position. All right, so slide to the 14th fret. It's so hard to call it the frets while I'm doing it. I don't know why that's like the hardest thing in the world for me to do, but 14G. 13B, 13E. Right? Just a major chord there. So I'm gonna call every fret out. You're gonna be so proud of me. 14G, 13B, 13E, 15 to 13B, then 14 to 12G, 10G, 12G, and home bass, the D on the D string, 12th fret, and then we're gonna walk it all the way back to home, right? Which is just kind of another pentatonic pentatonish, a pentatonic-ish lick, a pentatonish-lish, right? Which might seem familiar, right? It's a good one. All right, so 12, 10 on the D string, A string, 12, 11, 10, 8, home, bass on the E string, D. All right, so all together. Into phrase 2, where we slide from 9 to 10 on the B string. Harmonic minor. Phrase 3, slide to the. And then into the next position. And the blues look back. So it's kind of a landing spot for getting back to that D minor 7 chord that starts the progression. That's why we gotta meet the chords back there. So it's kind of like, just my philosophy on lead playing. So there you have it. That is how you play the smash hit song, Nail in a Coffin, by a great emerging new artist. If you have any questions or comments into the mind of that artist, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, the website. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.